Ladies and gentlemen, Tactical Vance here, and welcome to a ship review. Now today, we're taking a look around the Freelancer DUR. Now this is the exploration model. I've also done a video on the Miss and also the Max as well. So I think it's the last two videos that I've done. So if you want to check them out as well, just pop over to my channel and take a look there as well. Today, we're taking a look around the DUR. The DUR is the exploration ship in the Freelancer series, and here it is. Now, there are some differences with this ship over the other models. First thing is there's a little bit of side shielding on the side that's slightly different. There's this on the front as well, clearly to do with the exploration scanning aspect of it. But the front end is very similar to the military version, with these sort of little ball things on the end. The only difference is the lines are different, the design is different. If you actually look at them, you can see that all these lines are different. It does look different. But the size looks about the same. Doesn't look particularly different in that context. Quite a narrow ship, and you will notice these things on the back here, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Some real cool looking weapons on the side here as well. Crazy detail. What's that, 500 megawatts? So I'm guessing. Wouldn't want to be on the front of that, would you? Absolutely not. Did a little test earlier as well, just to see how long it takes to get in the cockpit from here. You know, the importance of having a side door. So let's have a look. So if I go to the door. And then in the seat, the other option is, which is definitely slower. I've loaded the cargo in today, so we're going to take a look at this in a short bit as well. It's pretty obvious it's going to be a lot quicker to going in the side door. To be fair, I've got so used to getting in the rear of the doors of the ships in Star Citizen that I just tend to do that all the time now, really. Let's carry on where we left off. Sun coming up? It looks like it's coming up. Yep, cool. So, and you will notice in my last video, the ship did land in landing mode, but there's a bug at the moment, which I think has been resolved now, where when you land in landing mode, when you turn the engines on, it forgets its last state. Hence the reason it was landed without the little leg things out. But now you can see them. Pretty cool, actually. I like the fact that it all folds away and you can't see them. Makes it more streamlined and makes it look nicer from a design. They just lift up and then these two side arms close up. Away you go. So look from a distance. I do like the colour scheme actually. It's nice. A lot of people said, oh, we don't have any black ships in Star Citizen, but the definition of black, what I mean, is like literally black as anything, you know? Not like a tangy sort of grey colour. I know we have some smaller ships, I mean like on the bigger ones though. But I'm sure we're about to change a lot of that stuff later on in game, eh? But then saying that, this sort of grey colour, I suppose it's going to be pretty hard to see in space. Silver's probably not going to help you out. Some lights there. And this is where everything's happening. These are your tanks. Absolutely massive, aren't they? Now the difference between all the other Freelancer series and this one, this has twice as much jump fuel basically. You get 500 in this one, you're getting 250 on the other one. So the reason why it took me a little bit of a delay to make this video, I wanted to run some tests. I mean, they're really, you know, they're not data accurate because I couldn't go to the edge of space. But what I tried doing is just going from Crusader to Microtech to get an idea of consumption. And then I tried the other Freelancers as well. Firstly, just identify, is there a consumption difference between the Freelancer series? And I can tell you that at the moment how it stands is it's no. They're all the same. But clearly this one has 500. It's about 1365 to Microtech from Port Olisar. So this is about to do it, you know, 3 or 4 times. So on the basis that Microtech is, let's just say, half of the one system, let's say, roughly. Okay, I agree, it's going to be a little bit more. This ship should be able to get at least 1.5 systems without needing to replenish its jump fuel. Where the Freelancer Max and the MISC is going to be able to do half of that. Pretty cool, eh? Tanks are massive, aren't they? Comes with a load of weapons and missiles as well, clearly. I really like the design of this. And if you remember when we looked at the previous ship as well, it didn't have the heat shields, did it? But the exploration ship has. I know the engines are supposed to be efficient. Do I think that later on they'll make the jump capability more efficient than the Freelancer and the MISC? Maybe. It's hard to say, isn't it? But this one has got full heat shields, this one. Might be to protect the... Oh, it hasn't actually on the side there, is it? On the bottom and top it hasn't. These massive tanks. I think the ones on the top are bigger, aren't they? Let's have a look. I would say the top ones are maybe the same size. Hard to tell from here, but they do look bigger. Looks fantastic, doesn't it? Expecting this patch to go live. The latest patch should be going to the live branch, I reckon, in the next day or so. They've released all the Star Citizen ship videos, so that normally means it's going to go live. And you guys can get to try your ships out. Let's go and take a look inside. So got this weird thing that happens, a bit annoying. It's got the same issue here, unfortunately. So hopefully they fix that. Let's start with jumping in here, shall we? Now clearly the purpose of this ship is exploration, so these weapons are really going to be for a defensive point, really, than anything else. Okay, interesting. Probably a better weapon to go for, actually, isn't it? More like the ballistic shotgun. And the reason I say that is because the turrets are quite hard to aim. Theoretically. I mean, it's going to take out quite a lot of troops, isn't it? It's tap fire with a cooldown, so this is pretty much the fire rate. Full fire. My guess is going to be, let's have a look at the range. Oh, it's pretty far. That is going to be more effective than obviously the longer range shot, isn't it? It's a bit scattered at that range, but it just shows it does go quite far. What else could we shoot? What's a bit further away? Yeah, you're not going to be doing much of that range, are you? You're just going to be tickling your shields. This is probably a better point defense gun, i.e. very close. What I mean is, when I say point defense, maybe when you're landed and you're defending the ship, you can't shoot over there. You can do pretty much every other angle, can't you? We'll try out the forward guns in a bit as well. We'll just have a look at this centre corridor and airlock coming up next. So, cargo bay. Carries less cargo, once again, because obviously you're limited on cargo space because of this thing in here. We do have cargo in here as well. So, this room. Seen lots of posts about this. Lots of people guessing what it is. My guess is this is the pumps to the fuel tanks. I mean, I don't think it has to be any complicated than that. That's what I think it is. That'd be my guess. Because them tanks, you've seen the size of them. You've got to move all them fuel around for them tanks. A lot of work's gone into this though, isn't it? There are some little logos around the place I've seen. These little panels as well. Can't look too much into that panel, can you? Because you would have thought there would have been 4 because there's 4 tanks. Odd little stickers around the place like this one here. Or sticker, but, you know, information. I'm sure someone let us know in the comments. I think it's just the pumps for the tanks. All seen this before. Little docking room with your cargo in it. Pretty going rate really on all of them, isn't it? So the only main difference here really is the weapon loadout in this centre room really. And obviously the scanning aspect of it. Seen all this before, haven't we? Nothing different in there. Same toilet. Same little door there, nothing. This is identically the same, isn't it? It's just the same section, I would say. And up the front. Into the cockpit. Some people dislike this cockpit. I know a lot of people moan about the front screen. Like I said in the previous video, lots of the ships have issues, i.e. things you've got to put up with. Let's take it for a little bit of a flight and try out these weapons, shall we? Now, if you want to know how to tell how much quantum fuel you've got, if you look by the centre rate, actually I can probably put it in it, can I? Here, it's here, look. Quantum fuel. So I've literally used 1 getting here, so there's not a lot at all. Do some tests yourself when the next patch goes live. Jump around the place and see how you get on. I'm going to start testing some of the bigger ships as well. I'm going to do the same tests from Potolisar to Microtech to see if the same amount of quantum fuel is used with the bigger ships or less. I know a lot of this stuff will change later on, but I just want to try it out. Clearly it is faster with them ones, the bigger ships. Let's give these guns a go. Okay, pretty fast firing. Gimbaled. Clearly. Look alright, they look small, don't they? You get the impression that they're actually quite small. Let's see what it's like to manoeuvre. Get out of atmosphere anyway, quickly, and then we'll do a couple of turns and see how we get on. I've not noticed a massive difference between the Freelancer series flying them all. Not a huge amount. Don't get me wrong, the Max does feel a bit more weighty. And keep in mind, I've actually got cargo in them as well, haven't I? I should have probably loaded up the Freelancer Max with cargo as well and given that a go, because that does affect, you know, planet-side takeoff and the way the ships handle as well. Better to always test it in the worst case scenario. I say the worst case, you're more likely going to have cargo, aren't you? So let's give it a quick, we're still not quite out yet, are we? We can give it a quick go here, so let's see if how quickly it turns, really. Well, very much the same, isn't it? It's not that much difference. You would have to do a side by side to really notice the difference. It's not significant enough that it jumps out at you. But if someone's attacking you, I suppose you've got half a chance. Plus the fact that you've got that rear gunner. That's pretty cool with that rear gunner, actually. That type of weapon. If someone gets too close to you, then you get shotgunned in the face, don't they? That's a cool little picture. I might make that the thumbnail, I think. So all in all, pretty cool ship. Got a lot more testing to do on this quantum fuel anyway. Overall, it's a small little exploration ship that can go into deep space, yeah? Because keep in mind, Exploration Star Citizen is not system to system, wormhole to wormhole. It's actually between the jump points. So when empty space is exploration, that's where you're going to find things, and things are going to happen along the way. It's a well put together, well designed ship. Like the fact that it has more quantum fuel, does make a significant difference by having that extra fuel. And the last thing on the agenda today, if you're looking to join a Star Citizen organisation or just come and play some other games or just hang out and chat, check out the link in the description below. That's it from me. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye now.